Hey guys, welcome back to TechNewsDay.
We've said it 100 times, and we'll say it again, guys. Pretty much every major step forward in online media technology over the last 20 or 30 years owes a whole lot of credit to pornography.
Yes.
Porn helped VHS cuck Betamax. It helped Blu-ray beat off HD DVD. It has accounted for a huge load of internet traffic. It got a lot of people to experiment a little bit with using their credit card on the internet. It led the push for better streaming video compression. Didn't have a pun for that one.
No.
And it's already dominating the VR media landscape.
Yeah, the credit card thing's great because it's like, oh, you're really gonna trust your credit card with this Amazon book service? And it's like, well, I mean, I trusted it with a porn site, so
Yeah.
this is pretty much easy.
It was literally, I didn't even know that until I was writing this. It was literally the first credit card payments online was a company that was set up specifically for online porn.
I mean, this is firsthand experience, so take it with a grain of salt, but pretty much I exclusively used Real Player for pornography when I was younger. There was no other reason for it. Mm-hmm. Everything else loaded too slow. I wouldn't wait for a movie trailer, but I would wait for pornography.
Real Player was, for its time, quite revolutionary.
Yeah. The only reason Winamp's still not kicking the llama's ass is because audio porn, not as entertaining. Anyways, in all of these cases, the porn industry didn't actually invent anything. They just put their support behind a new technology. And because so many people like jacking it or jilling it, all these technologies suddenly had a huge user base that pushed them forward. And the latest example of this is artificial intelligence. PornHub, the most visited streaming video porn site on Earth, recently gave their own AI one hell of a task. Go through PornHub's entire library and catalog the specific porn stars in each video, as well as all the specific sex acts being performed. Whew. Yeah.
Again, this isn't brand new or groundbreaking. Facebook uses AI to automatically tag you and your friends in all the photos you upload, and it can even recognize specific locations. The Google Photos app does this as well, recognizing people, locations, and objects. And hey, this week they even rolled out an update that can recognize your specific pets.
Yep.
So that's cool. With both Google and Facebook, they rely on you or your friends to first manually and voluntarily tag things. Then the AI sort of learns to recognize specific patterns, and it starts tagging on its own.
The Google thing was genius because they just made their AI thing a gatekeeper for content. It would be like, hey, prove you're not a robot by identifying these signs. Mm-hmm. And it worked.
They put us all to work.
Yeah, they did. The fact that we're all happily allowing AIs owned by multi-billion-dollar tech behemoths to learn every contour of our faces just so we can avoid the inconvenience of manually parsing through our own photos to find shit, it's a bit troubling to think about, albeit very convenient.
Yeah.
If I want to look up, Google Photos is great and scary because they'll be like, I want to see a picture of me and my girlfriend from Big Bear Lake.
Yeah.
Because I know we went in July or summer of 2015. Mm-hmm. Boom, there's all of them.
Yep. It's a great app.
Yeah, but listen, we're not going to dwell on it this time because what Pornhub is doing here with their videos involves media that's filmed and uploaded specifically so that it can be found and watched by random strangers around the world. And it's the sort of thing that definitely has potential uses on the mainstream side of things on platforms like YouTube.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's especially useful on a site like Pornhub because, for whatever reason, when people upload content there, they don't provide a whole lot of specific information in the title, description, and tag. And neither the users aren't exactly leaving comments. Although, if you go on Pornhub and look at videos that have comments, it is a weird fucking world.
It's a great community, very tight-knit. They support each other.
Yeah.
There was the one comment that I love. I might have said this on a show before, but the guy was like, man, this guy at this bus stop recommended me this video and I love it. And the guy commented back and he's like, hey man, glad you like it. Like he came back to the video that he loved. There you go.
Yeah, he keeps it in his bookmarks.
Yeah.
But anyway, how does this whole AI Pornhub thing work exactly? Well, just like with Facebook and Google, it starts manually with Pornhub's AI team feeding their system thousands upon thousands of images and videos that they have already manually tagged. With enough input and enough variety, the AI finds enough common patterns for keywords like Sasha Grey or blowjob or whatever to be able to do a decent job recognizing and tagging those terms itself.
Now, it's of course still going to screw up from time to time, so Pornhub is going to be turning to you, the user, to help further train this AI. You always have one hand free, might as well work for them as well. There'll be some sort of suggestions tab for see more of X with a percentage rating next to each result for how certain the AI is about its suggestion. And users will be able to upvote or downvote these results based on how accurate they really are, which not only corrects the results, but also helps the AI get better at its job. Pornhub says their AI has already made it through 500,000 videos, but plans to have their entire library done by the beginning of next year. No, that's the problem with these robots. They don't take breaks. They don't get vacation days.
No.
It's scary.
But moving on to a website that is desperately in need of some sort of AI breakthrough, Twitter.
Yeah.
Last week, CEO Jack Dorsey, @Jack, he finally acknowledged that, hey, my social media platform's sort of a cesspool full of terrible people who threaten and harass other users with impunity, and we've done a fucking terrible job moderating our platform pretty much since the beginning. Mm-hmm. He wasn't so direct in what he said, but that was the gist of it. This came on the heels of the Women Boycott Twitter hashtag, which we'll get to in a moment, but here's his statement, which he wrote across 8 tweets because Twitter is inherently useless for long-form communication.
We see voices being silenced on Twitter every day. We've been working to counteract this for the past 2 years. We prioritized this in 2016. We updated our policies and increased the size of our teams. It wasn't enough. In 2017, we made it our top priority and made a lot of progress. Today, we saw voices silencing themselves and voices speaking out because we're still not doing enough. We've been working intensely over the past few months and focused today on making some critical decisions. We've decided to take a more aggressive stance in our rules and how we enforce them. New rules around unwanted sexual advances, non-consensual nudity, hate symbols, violent groups, and tweets that glorifies violence. These changes will start rolling out in the next few weeks. More to share next week.
Okay, so that part about voices silencing themselves, that was in reference to the Women Boycott Twitter hashtag, which was a response mainly to the fact that actress Rose McGowan had her account temporarily suspended in the midst of her pretty much rightfully calling out people in Hollywood who allowed Harvey Weinstein to get away with sexually assaulting and harassing actresses like her for so long. The specific reasoning behind the suspension actually did make some sense. She had posted a screenshot of an email she'd received from someone offering to set up a meeting with Bob Weinstein and her, and she had neglected to remove the sender's email signature that included their phone number.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was a pretty basic violation of Twitter's terms of service, which don't allow the posting of private information, but the fact that Twitter was enforcing its rules when they've become notorious for looking the other way on violations all over the place. There was one where it was like, one of those white supremacist dudes was leaking phone numbers and doxing us and nothing happened.
Yeah.
This was apparently the last straw for people, though, particularly women, who saw McGowan's swift suspension as hypocritical, when their own attempts to report harassment had previously fallen on deaf ears, like we said. So the Women Boycott Twitter hashtag was born with an unknown number of users vowing to stay off the platform for 24 hours last Friday.
So boycotting a platform for a single day doesn't seem like it would be all that effective at making a website's wallet hurt. But it was possibly the most visible protest against the site by some of its most high-profile accounts, and it was also the culmination of a long period of people being fed the fuck up with the site's complete lack of moderation. Mm-hmm. So Twitter acknowledged it, they pledged to do better, yada, 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 and I don't know. It's not like Twitter has completely failed at moderating on behalf of women being harassed or threatened. They did actually ban Milo Yiannopoulos and Martin Shkreli for targeted harassment after enough people complained. But the excuse for not doing better has always been, oh, guys, it's impossible to effectively moderate a site as big as Twitter. I mean, things are going to fall through the cracks.
Well, it turns out that excuse is kind of bullshit, because in Germany and other countries with strict hate speech laws, Twitter does work pretty damn proactively to block accounts that spew blatant bigotry. You can see for yourself if you go into Twitter on desktop, go into settings, scroll down to content, and change your country to Germany. Now, suddenly, a shitload of Twitter accounts associated with Nazi and far-right nationalist ideology show up as basically blank, with a message saying that the account is withheld in Germany. Twitter only does this because they don't want their website to be straight up blocked in Germany for violating their laws, but it shows that they're fully capable of more active moderation if they feel so inclined.
Yeah,
but those damn alt-right people, they're just so active. They're engaged.
They're engaged, yeah.
Guys.
Tweets are tweets.
They're clicking all the ads.
Yeah, I mean, of course, at the end of the day, as long as people are still using Twitter, despite having problems with it, they're really not all that motivated to fix anything. Mm-hmm. It's the same with their other huge problem of bot accounts that they're also not trying very hard to fix, because at the end of the day, their daily active users numbers are how they make their money, and kicking off a bunch of accounts lowers that number. So the only surefire way to get Twitter, or any website, to wake the fuck up is, a lot of high-profile accounts just leaving the platform, either for another social media site or just unplugging altogether. But Twitter's a free website, and it's great, and it's hard to say goodbye.
Yeah, well, they really missed out by not securing those rights to Thursday Night Football once again, because the interaction on this season, people wouldn't even be watching the game. Just
get off your knee. Get off your damn knee.
Show some damn respect. Yep. The Twitter bird puts this little wing over its heart.
Respect the troops.
Respect the troops. Oh, God. Speaking of making money, it's time for us to pay the bills with a quick word from this week's sponsoring advertiser, Bluehost. They are a top-rated website provider who powers over 2 million websites, and they've got everything you need to build the website you've always wanted with the freedom to design your site your way without being limited by templates.
It's simple enough for beginners and powerful enough for even the most advanced users, and with fully customizable templates and third-party app support, you get total flexibility and control. Plus, with a 99.9% uptime guarantee and automatic updates, it's truly reliable and it offers maximum security, including malware monitoring and protection and automatic secure WordPress install.
And with Bluehost 24/7 tech support, online resources, and expert services, you'll have all the help you need to succeed and save time. Bluehost has been the top recommended WordPress host site since 2005, and now you, our viewers and listeners, you can save 50% when you sign up by going to bluehost.com/tech2s. Again, that is bluehost.com/TECHTUES.
And with that out of the way, let's get our resident tech curmudgeon, Phil Arrigo, in here to tell us all about how fucked we are for the millionth week in a row.
It never gets any better, does it?
Despite Phil trying his damnedest, it never improves.
He is literally the old man yelling at the digital cloud.
Sometimes I talk about news stories in the show that don't apply to everybody, and then you just fast forward because you don't care or you don't like me. Well, today, stick around because every single one of us is fucked. So unless you're living in 2005, you and your devices all use Wi-Fi, routers, phones, tablets, laptops, and all the other things that you look at porn on and they do the wireless. Well, they're all vulnerable to crack, which stands for key reinstallation attacks. Almost all modern Wi-Fi networks are secured by WPA2, a security standard that keeps the stranger danger off your network and your deadbeat neighbors from stealing your Wi-Fi. And when you see all those little padlocks next to Wi-Fi networks on your phone, WPA2 is the standard that's most likely keeping those locks shut. Matthew Van Hoof is a researcher who discovered a vulnerability in WPA2 that makes all devices, regardless of brand or OS or type, vulnerable. The two hardest hit here are Android and Linux, and Matthew posted a video exploiting an Android device, which shows him intercepting traffic through a man-in-the-middle attack. So what does all this crap mean for you? Well, man-in-the-middle attacks let people eavesdrop on your information transmitted wirelessly so they can skim through your Wi-Fi traffic and extract your login info, password, or whatever's flying through. You can also steal your credit card numbers and photos and pretty much anything that's sent over Wi-Fi or is accessible via Wi-Fi.
Browser history?
Sure, but we're just going to church websites, so
Yeah.
what can you do about this? So patch your devices ASAP, all of them. The only problem is that not every company has released a patch for every device. ZDNet has an up-to-date list of all the major players and what their timetable is to patch their products. Microsoft is quick out the gate, so Windows is cool. Apple's gonna be rolling out an update in, the coming weeks. Oh, that's neat, so I just won't use my laptop. Well, then great. Google's gonna release a patch also in the coming weeks for Android, but as we all know, that patch has to then make its way to Samsung and LG and any other phone maker who makes an Android device, and then they have to take that code and work it into their software and then get that approved by the friggin' phone carriers. You guys have heard me bitch about this. It's exhausting to talk about, and it's a terribly horrible process that Android users have to endure, but first-party phones like the Pixel, they're gonna get the update right away. So another really important thing is to patch your router because that's the literal hub for your wireless internet connection. A lot of companies have started rolling out patches, which is really awesome, but as of right now, not everything has been patched, including my high-end Netgear router. So that's pretty cool, guys. Thanks. That's actually not cool at all. Hurry up. So keep checking for patches for your own stuff, and for the love of God, if there are people you care about who aren't tech savvy, update the software for their everythings. Grandma's router, grandpa's tablet, and you see an Amish guy with a smartphone, you know what to do.
Knock it out of his hand.
Ask him why he has a cell phone. Before I go, you've heard me bitch about Ajit Pai countless times on this show. You know Ajit Pai, the Trump-appointed head of the FCC. He's pretty much the closest thing to a nemesis I have, and every single thing he's done since being appointed has boiled my blood, and I've bitched about it on this show. Except this. Last week, Donald Trump tweeted, "With all the fake news coming out of NBC and the networks, at what point is it appropriate to challenge their license? Bad for the country." So that's a not at all veiled threat to revoke NBC or whoever fake news has a broadcast license. Today, while speaking at an event, Ajit Pai, the guy with the brass balls big enough to carry out Trump's orders, had this to say: "I believe in the First Amendment. And he continued to say his agency does not have the authority to revoke the license of a broadcast station based on the content of a particular newscast. So a guy who I constantly clown for being a loudmouth jerk with terribly selfish and greedy policies just quietly shut down Trump. Look, I didn't know it was opposite day when I rolled out of bed, but thanks for doing your job, Adjit. This one's for you, even this is the only thing I ever will agree with you on. It's an Adjit Pie rap fact. Look at you being a human with the soul in there, all wrapping the facts up.
Get that man a bigger mug.
Get him a big mug. He's so cool. Adjit Pie is so cool. Actually, I can't finish that sentence. Don't air that.
Oh, thanks, Phil. Now let's cover a few other odds and ends from this past week's tech news. The last week, I wasn't here, but him and Phil, they told you about how totally relatable human person, Mark Zuckerberg, he had kicked off this year's Oculus Connect event with a, some would say, tone-deaf social VR demonstration where he and Facebook's head of social VR just had a blast, traveling down to storm-ravaged Puerto Rico through the magic of virtual reality, and they were high-fiving each other while people died of starvation off in the distance.
I'm sure they had a mini game where you toss beautiful paper towels,
God.
into the waiting hands of people down there suffering.
Well, anyway, there was some actual news to come out of that event after that. So here
Are you
go.
sure? Because I haven't heard any of it. All I keep hearing about is a damn high five. There's 2 new Oculus headsets in the works, both of which are totally self-contained, meaning no wires, no external computer, and no external motion sensors. The first is the latest iteration of Project Santa Cruz, which Oculus showed off an earlier version of last year. Project Santa Cruz isn't really intended as an upcoming consumer product, but rather a glimpse at what we can expect from a future generation of the Rift once the costs for this kind of thing aren't astronomical. And for us normies, that glimpse pretty much consists of what the headset itself will look like and reading about what journalists thought of it during the demo.
Yeah, so the verdict seems to be that they have vastly improved the platform over the past year and that the graphics and responsiveness of the Santa Cruz are comparable with the standard Oculus Rift connected to a fucking computer, which is insane considering that all of its processing power is right there in the headset, powered by batteries.
You better start working your neck out.
Yeah, but again, the cost of cramming all that in there has got to be astronomical. It's not a matter of whether it's possible. It's possible. It's just there's no way they can sell this for 10 grand.
Also, imagine wearing that for like 5 hours and you're gonna have neck pain. Like even if it's not that heavy, even if it's just a couple pounds, wearing that for a couple hours a day, if you're an active user, it's not gonna be good for your
put on
neck.
some counterweights.
In the actual video, he says, "Oh wow, that's a workout." They say that constantly in the video.
Bad idea.
But yeah, I don't know. People seemed impressed with it regardless.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's a good test
No,
case.
no plans to release it. It's another dev kit.
Yeah. Then again, Oculus's other new self-contained headset, the Oculus Go, actually is going to be released commercially sometime early next year, and it's apparently only going to cost $200. The Oculus Go isn't intended to have PC quality VR, but rather some sort of middle ground between mobile phone VR and PC VR. It'll feature the same library of apps available for Oculus and Samsung's Gear VR platform, but will be significantly cheaper than buying a current-gen Galaxy phone and a $130 Gear headset. Also, you'd have to imagine that a lot of the games that they're making for this are going to be heavily optimized.
Yeah.
It's way easier for them to optimize these games than it is to shrink hardware into something wearable.
Right.
So,
but yeah, it's their hardware. They can optimize everything a whole lot better. Hey, yeah, it's unlikely that the Oculus Go is going to make really much of a splash at all when it's released because, but Oculus themselves, they're aware of this. John Carmack, when he was on stage, he acknowledged that mobile phone-based VR is going to be dominant for at least the next few years simply because phones keep improving so rapidly. So the Oculus Go seems to be strictly for VR hobbyists looking for a dedicated mobile VR device that's separate from their phone. But it could also be successful, selling to businesses for stuff like VR experience at theme parks, museums, or like in the real estate industry. Like it has a lot of practical purposes. They just need to be able to sell it well. And they didn't do a very good job explaining why anyone needs this.
keep them out on planes, let people watch movies.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the
Sign a
easiest way.
contract with fucking Delta or
It's
something.
the easiest way to get the public into it. Even Delta and American, they give out, I believe, Bose really nice headphones in first class.
Yeah.
And then it's like after you listen to them once, you're like, fuck, those are really good.
Yeah.
Even if you did this in first class, I think, like I said, if you want to sell it to mainstream America, movies, social, knock out those two with VR that's portable and cheap, you're good to go.
Yeah, you too can visit Ravaged, flooded out,
Puerto Rico with your friends. You know what? We got mini games. Play poker in the middle of a flooded out house. It's gonna be great. Or if you're in Puerto Rico, put on the headset and go somewhere
Go
else.
somewhere else.
Go over to Zuckerberg's house.
Water drinking simulator.
Yeah, no, Zuckerberg should he should give everyone the new Oculus Go down in Puerto Rico and then invite them all over for a virtual backyard barbecue. I am cooking a hamburger. How would you like your hamburger?
Actual human Mark Zuckerberg here.
Yeah. What did you
We're
say
very
about his
sorry.
posture? You said about his posture yesterday, like it looks like he had bad posture.
he had
hired
bad-
someone to.
No, he just watched a bunch of tutorials on like Google or something. Like, okay, so I want to like basically pretend that my spine is a rod.
Yeah.
I need to pretend that a giant bird is holding me by the head, and gravity is pulling my backbone down.
It's like how it feels like how a pickup artist would tell you how to walk.
Yeah.
Like, well, if you
Establish
walk
dominance.
yeah, pop out your chest. Listen here, Zuck. Hello, actual human Mark Zuckerberg. Anyways, that's our show for this week. Thanks again to our sponsoring advertiser, Bluehost. They're a top-rated website provider that powers over 2 million websites and powers this show, technically. They've got everything you need to build the website you've always wanted, and they give you the freedom to design your website your way without being limited to templates. It's simple enough for beginners and powerful enough for the most advanced users.
And with Bluehost 24/7 tech support, online resources, and expert services, you will have all the help you need to succeed and save time. Bluehost says that they're the best tool to build, host, and manage your website. And now our viewers can get 50% off when they sign up at bluehost.com/tech2s. That is bluehost.com/TECHTUES.
And be sure to check out yesterday's live episode. We hung out with Maddox, who has a brand new book out, and we also talked about all the stuff that happened over the past weekend. And then be sure to check out, finally, Chippy reviewed Cuphead.
Oh, he did?
He did.
Yeah.
He finally reviewed Cuphead. So you're going to want to watch that.
Oh, wow.
So check
I
those
missed
out.
it.
We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.